Hey everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Comic Krew. We bring you the news and reviews on your favorite comics, movies, and TV shows. As always, I'm Rob Moran, and with me across the world is...
Chris Heller.
Yes, guys, this is week, I think 4 or 5 of quarantine comic book.
What year is it?
Yes, it's still 2020, believe it or not. I lost track.
Man, what a year.
So, this episode... You know, a lot of you guys are concerned there's no new comics, there's a lot less movies out there. What are we going to talk about? We got a full episode here of stuff that you definitely want to listen to and check out. So, I think the first thing to kind of ease us into the podcast and to ease me and Chris's minds, is kind of looking towards the future, right? So, we want to talk about the top 5 things we want to do as soon as the quarantine is over, right? The top things that we miss.
Yeah, we like top 5.
I think top 5s, you like top 5s, I like top 5s. It's always, it's a good gauge of where we are. So I'm going to go with my 5, and then you go, and then we're going to keep going back and forth, just like you go.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 5, for me, is just going outside without a mask. Just going outside, breathing some fresh air. Maybe go into a park, just going outside.
It's so practically right. Just being in the world without, wearing a mask. Without looking like I'm going to rob a bank.
The worst part is now because I'm growing the apocalypse spirit, as you guys have been seeing over the weeks, it's a lot harder to have the mask on. It's messing with my flow.
Do you have a mask? Shaving. Like, you have, a medical mask?
I have, the carpenter's mask. It's somewhere in my room.
I figured you have, construction mask.
It's like the N95, right? I think it's N95, some kind of high-grade mask. So I had, a whole bunch.
I don't have, actual masks, so I did, t-shirt mask.
Do you like a scarf?
Yeah, so, I actually used my dog's bandana. And, it's a legitimate, it's a Superman bandana, so I was walking around looking like a robber, but with a Superman logo on my mouth.
I like it a lot.
So yeah, I only went out once to get food, to go food shopping. It's weird, man. Bandanas and masks and gloves and everything, it's crazy.
So what's your 5?
My 5 is a little more, it's outside, but it's going outside to go inside. Going to the gym.
That should have been on my list. But as you can tell, I'm not super close friends with them, more like acquaintance.
Well, hey, it's not number 1 for me. It's 5.
Yeah.
But it's not up the ladder. But yeah, I'm someone who likes to think that, I can feel and kind of sense my own body and what I need and food and stuff and exercise. And body's feeling weird, man. Without the daily grind of just a workout or a run, you know what I mean?
You feeling doughy?
No, I'm not even feeling. I'm actually not. I haven't gained weight, which is really good because I've been watching what I eat a lot more now. Because you're inside sitting on a couch most of the day.
Yeah.
But it's just once when you work out, and obviously anyone who works out, not heavy lifting, even just regular working out, your body kind of craves it after a couple weeks, So.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely for me probably 5 when I miss going to the gym or a run, and now before Jersey became mandatory to wear masks outside, a lot of people were going out, going on runs and going to the park to run, and now all that's shut down too because we're in Jersey and we're idiots. So and somehow we're now worse than New York because it's Jersey, and so it's completely different. It's just the body feels weird. It's in a state of limbo.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird.
My number 4 now, guys, is going out to restaurants and bars, going out for food, socializing.
I thought that would have been your number 1.
No, my number 1, you're going to be like, oh, duh, that makes sense. But, I miss going out and getting drunk. I can't do that at home. I feel like a monster. I'm not drinking that here.
Really? You can't do that at home?
No. I'm more of a social drinker. People in my house, they're having drinks. They're like, oh, you want a drink? I'm like, I feel dirty. Nah.
I feel dirty.
And I want to go out to a restaurant, enjoy good food, instead of takeout or making my own food. It's a whole different experience.
You
now
want
when
to be lazy with food.
Yeah, I when I order takeout, I'm like, all right, is this going to be good an hour later when I eventually get it? Okay. It's different. I can't just have nachos. I want great restaurant tacos or nachos or something else. And these are the little things you miss.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would say more for me is definitely in that area of socializing with friends in bars, and I'll stick bars separate.
Okay.
Separate because I have restaurants on the list too.
Okay, so what's your 4?
4 for me is definitely the bar, socializing with friends area.
Okay.
I'm not like a video chatter, surprisingly. I mean, I know we're doing the podcast out of necessity on Skype, but I don't Skype people. I don't FaceTime people.
Nah, I'm with you on that.
You know, if I'm hanging out, either like text me or we'll meet up somewhere and then we'll hang out. That's really it. Yeah. So for me, definitely that, going to a local watering hole, as they say. Or even going to a friend's house to drink or hang out definitely is up there.
So just socialize drinking is your number 4.
Yeah, basically socializing drinking. Some form of alcoholic socialization is there.
All right. My number 3 is recording the podcast in person. Yes, Skype is fine, but like I miss him, this weird son of a gun, and it's better quality content when we're together, so that also is a good thing. But it's something to get out. It's like to look forward. We're like, oh, I'm driving to Chris. I'm going to hang out, and then I drive back, and like usually, like when we record, like let's say it's an hour and a half or 2 hours of recording session, whatever it may be. But when I go to his house, it's always longer because I'm sitting there, we're talking about nonsense for a good half hour, 45 minutes.
You a lot of food.
Yeah, he gives me snacks. I get snacks. I don't get snacks here.
It's like going to your grandma's house and just comes over to have a conversation and eat snacks.
He's like, you want some pretzels? You like a bagel? I'm like, okay, yeah. Why not? And then also the drive there and back, which sometimes like I don't like, but other times like it's good. It wakes me up. I can listen to other podcasts. I can just like jam out to some music. It's the actual event of it all. Like I miss.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I was gonna put that a little higher for me. Okay. So for me, 3, just to change up our list so it's not exactly the same. I'll say 3 for me is restaurants. And you can attest this too. You've also, like, both of us have been in a very long relationship. Sometimes a date night out at a restaurant is very easy and very nice to do. It doesn't have to be expensive at a restaurant. But I'm
go to Applebee's for freaking appetizers, and it's like
I'll never go to Applebee's, but enjoy.
You know what I'm saying? Like even like it's like a regular restaurant. Yeah. It's like, all right, whatever, cool. Like it's something to do.
Yeah, like you're on the way home and just like, hey, you want to get a Frosty? It's like, yes.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten Frosties. Have you had, by the way? They have a new thing. It's called a Frosty Chino. I don't drink coffee. I hate it.
I do.
Coffee. It's a cappuccino and a Frosty in one. It's like a delicious love child. Heather got it, and she loved it. And I tasted a sip, and I was like, not bad.
I will definitely be trying that now. Frosty Chino.
It's pretty much ice cream milk, and then like this much coffee, and I was
it's just coffee ice cream.
Yeah, it's really what it is.
But yeah, no, restaurants definitely. And I'm a big there are 2 types of people in this world: people who live to eat and people who eat to live. I'm on the live to eat side. I love food and I love tasting different things and eating different foods. As much kind of like you. And going out to restaurants and talking about like how ridiculous the food is. So, I miss, I do miss going out to grab a bite or maybe going to a restaurant you haven't been before and having an experience.
My number 2 is just the overall socializing, hanging out with friends. Whether that's...
This shows so much how we're different. Mine's at 4.
Yeah.
Mine's barely tolerable over a workout. And yours is up at
2. Yeah, so I miss hanging out with my friends, going to their houses, This includes going out to restaurants with them, going out to bars with them, doing a podcast with you, doing all this kind of stuff, going out and like seeing people I love and hanging out, playing board games and other stuff. Like, I like staying at home, playing video games. Like, I'm not a homebody by any means, but I definitely like my home time. But like, I'm jonesing, like, all right, let's go out, let's go to a bar, let's go have some fun, let's go play some board games over somebody's house, let's go do something. Let's go to the beach, let's go play sports, let's go do something.
Yeah, so I'll throw that into 5 too, and go do the gym stuff, just playing sports as well. Like, I played sports my whole life, so that's definitely like jonesing. But no, I get that 100%, man. Like social interaction. It's not like I think we did Zoom one night with a couple people, and I was just like, yeah, this is kind of whack. And I'm a big sports guy, so the NFL draft is coming up, so we're doing like kind of like a Zoom NFL draft party.
Ooh,
where everyone's like dressing up in their favorite team colors and doing like a bunch of food and drinks from their social distance houses. I like houses better. And watch the NFL draft. So like we're gonna do that, but it's tough. Like it's interesting. It's also interesting to see the creative stuff that's going on.
Yep. My number one.
Hold on, I didn't do my number two.
I thought you did. No, that was. Oh, you got it on.
I was talking about your number two.
My bad. What's your number two? I was excited.
My number two is like my number one now. Is skipping over anything either.
I don't care about crazy. That's my number one.
No, my number two is definitely everything involved that we do outside the podcast. So definitely seeing you. Definitely doing the show here is great. Doing kind of like our private catch up before the show every week about life and work and all that stuff. The stuff that goes into the show that no one sees. You're kind of like an idea man on the road, like where you're like driving and thinking, and he'll like call me, and I'm like midway picking up crap with the dogs. I'm like half listening. He's like, I had this great idea, or it's crazy, just hear me out. Yeah. So that mixed with...
That's how a lot of the show started. I have a crazy idea, let's start. I actually think that's how the show started. I have a crazy idea, but hear me out.
Actually, I think it was us debating Batman v Superman, which, ironically, the best thing to come out of that movie is us doing a podcast.
Yeah,
but,
you're welcome.
You're welcome, everybody. But yeah, everything that goes into the show, too. So, like, I'm also throwing going to movies in that category. Because... You know me, I'm a very much classical style researcher. So, I'm throwing movie theaters into that because of the movie industry. And when there's a new Marvel movie coming out, or DC, or Star Wars, or whatever the case is that we're reviewing, Rob and I are usually seeing that movie the first, weekend, the first 2 days. Yeah. So planning that as well is always fun, and going to the movies, and being outside and then kind of doing everything for the podcast, the networking, Ming and Mike, stuff like that, I really like.
All right. My number one is going to the movies. I love the movies. If I wasn't doing the show, I'd still go to the movies. If I had it up to me, I would go to the movies once a week.
Dressed in the E.T. hazmat suit?
Oh, I would go to the movies right now. I don't care. You tell me the movie's open, I'll go. I'll wear a mask or gloves. I'll go right now. I'll be the only one in the theater.
And ask Corona.
Oh my God. Like, I love the smell, the popcorn, the energy in the audience where everybody's laughing together, everybody's yelling together, like the whole community experience. Yeah. I feel like there's two kinds of movie people when you go to movies. There's people who want stone silence and nobody to talk and watch on the big screen. Or there's other people who want to feed off the energy in the room and add on to the energy in the room, and that's very much me. Like, when someone's laughing, I'm laughing.
I wouldn't suggest doing that during Schindler's List, but if it's Endgame, that's usually fun.
I'm saying, if there's something happy to happen in Schindler's List, I'm going to like the Schindler's List.
The girl in the red dress, what? Did not see that coming.
No, I'm not going to say that. I might.
No, but I agree 100%. I think probably one of the greatest movie experiences ever was when you, myself, and movie guy Ed went to Infinity War in 4DX City.
That was good.
That was insane. And it was also exhausting. Like, I've never been to a movie where I was
that was
like...
Endgame. Endgame, not
Was it Endgame? I thought it was Infinity War.
No, Endgame, because you picked up the hammer. No, you're right, Infinity War.
It was Infinity War.
It was, 100% was Infinity War.
So, yeah, we did 4DX in New York, and it was like 4DX was kind of still new and not as known yet, and it was only in New York and LA, and we got tickets to Infinity War, and we all went as like a podcast team, and it was just awesome, and it was fun and exhilarating. We got milkshakes before.
Oh, that was a great and terrible idea at the same time.
Milk was a bad choice halfway through it, because we're getting shaken around and spritzed and stuff.
We had a milkshake, we drank a milkshake, and then we were the milkshake.
We were the milkshake. And yeah, it was a great experience. I've never experienced that in a movie because, who experiences that in a movie when you're just sitting in a chair? But that, definitely that was awesome.
What's your number one now?
My number one is close to the movies. My number one is Comic-Cons.
I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big con guy. It went from kind of a hobby to mixed with the podcast, kind of a hobby/work combination.
It's like
of,
a pseudo profession going to.
Yeah,
that, right?
and you know what they say: if you love your work and you enjoy your work, you never really work a day in your life, right? It's not a job; it's more of a career, which obviously you and I are striving towards. With your guys' help.
That's right.
Yeah, Rob's schedule is a lot different than mine. Rob's a little more similar now, but back when cons were still around,
earlier, it was terrible.
Rob's schedule was so out of whack. Mine was kind of the traditional 9 to 5, so I could take off a Friday and go out of town for the weekend, and hit a con in Connecticut or Boston. And
I had to do balancing acts. I remember trying to get off. They were like, "All right, I want this weekend off." Okay, well, let me switch shifts with you. Let me take off this day. Then I'll work extra this day.
Yeah,
and I had to get this all approved by my coworkers. Like, they were cool with it before I even brought it up to the manager. Yeah. And he's like, "All right, now we can do it." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." Now I'm like, "Oh, I can do whatever I want."
Exactly, yeah. Now that you have the traditional going from hourly to salary, you get that jump. But yeah, so traditionally I do up to 10 to 12 cons a year total. Did a little less last year. Focus on more of the bigger ones. Did maybe 5.
Yeah.
But Comic-Cons in general, I love getting stuff signed. I love meeting creators. I love talking to them. We had Pete Tomasi on the show. Mm-hmm. We had who else do we have? French guy, DC. Artist, Grant Morrison.
No, was it Grant?
No, it was with
Grant.
Sam blanking. Hardcore. Anyway, Yannick Paquette. Boom.
There you go.
Yannick Paquette was on the show. We kind of marketed ourselves, and we love to hand out stuff, and our business cards go, and getting stuff signed is great for personal stuff, but it's also a great way to get to creators to talk to them. And
just break the ice.
And so it's kind of like a double positive, it's not a double-edged sword. It's awesome, and you get to meet a bunch of people, and it's a lot of the same people because you're meeting Uber fans who go and travel. Yeah. There's a lot of great people there, and there's a lot of cool stuff, and thinking of just some of the Stan Lees that you get to meet, and all these major names, and doing New York Comic Con. I remember the one year with you with the Stan Lee stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Which was probably still the best con I've ever been to with Stan, and then
that is my best. That's my favorite con I've been to. My best one, because I met Stan Lee and bonded over my grandfather. It was fantastic.
That was awesome. And I think the year we went to Boston for the day. That was a wild ride. We were driving up. That was 4 years ago.
We recorded the podcast on the road.
It was
while we were going up. That's definitely an experience I want to do again, just because it's so crazy.
So crazy. We had my girlfriend driving the van, and we're recording the show in the backseat, going
up and down.
We woke up, left at 6 a.m., got back at 2 in the morning, a one-day trip for Frank Miller, I believe it was.
Yes.
To Boston Con, and it was the old Boston Con. It wasn't in the big center. It was in the small convention center on the south side, and the air conditioning was terrible, so it was 1,000 degrees in there.
I lost 4 pounds just walking through.
Oh my god. And my buddy Chris Mackin showed up. It was a great day. Yeah. Stuff like that you can't replace, right? Especially in the industry that's this niche, and kind of the people and the books and the stuff we talk about. Getting to meet George Perez, and have George Perez sign a bunch of books before he, literally right before he retired. It ended up being his last show. He was supposed to be at Terrificon, and he had to cancel that, so literally I got him on the last show. Stuff like that will be there forever. So yeah, definitely Comic-Cons.
Alright guys, that is our top 5 list of what we want to do after the quarantine is over. Let us know down in the comments below what your top 5 is. If you don't have a top 5, that's fine. Just tell us some of the things that you want to do as soon as this quarantine is over, whether it's going to the movies, whether it's bowling, axe throwing, bungee jumping, whatever you're into, let us know down below.
I also love how our top 5 went from going outside to going outside to then going inside to do that.
Yeah. It's a circle of life.
It's a circle. Going out to go back in.